Welcome to Bunnyfish Crafts. I'm your host Heather, known as Bunnyfish on Ravelry, Instagram, and YouTube. Today is Tuesday, the 22nd of November, 2016. This is episode 203, New Eyes. Grab some sticks and string and come sit with me. How was your week? Mine was mostly good. I am recovering from working 3 days in a row, and yesterday was a 12-hour shift, so tired, but good tired. Good tired. I'm not like sleepy. My muscles are just sore, but in a good way, because when you're chasing after a bazillion dogs, sometimes your muscles get tired. I had parent-teacher conferences this week, and they were really, really good. Both of my kids are doing pretty well. There are a couple things that different things that each of them are below grade level on, but for the girl child, it is mostly following directions, which, yeah, that sounds like her. And for the boy child, it's reading, which is always a struggle for us. So we're getting there. It'll be fine. I also got my new glasses. The eye place called me while I was at conferences to tell me that they had my frames in. So we made an unexpected tour that way because I worked the day after and I really wanted my new glasses for work instead of my old ones. They're taped on both sides because both legs are broken. And about a bajillion years ago, Mara, yeah, you can kind of see that. Mara chewed up my lens, actually, and I just wasn't in a place where I could go get new glasses. So I was like, no, I want the new ones. So here's the first pair, and the lenses are dirty, obviously, because, I should have cleaned them first, but I didn't. So they have a slight green tint to them. And then this is the second pair, which I guess I'll wear since they're clean. I haven't actually worn them since I tried them on at the eye place. They are black, and they're really cute, but see this right here? This circle, it's shiny, and it's super distracting because my peripheral vision is ridiculously good, which is why I'm pretty decent at my job, because I can see so much in front of me and to the side of me at once, but I can see this all the time and it captures my attention. So I haven't worn it because I've been working pretty much since I got them. I had one day off in there, but I just didn't change out the glasses. So I'm going to wear them now. And that was like the big exciting thing that happened this week was my new glasses. Tomorrow morning, we are going to get the kids' eye exams, and then I made a mistake on my knitting. Hold, please. We're going to get eye exams for the kids tomorrow, and then we are going to be heading to Kentucky for Thanksgiving. So that's what I'll be talking about next week. Anyway, there is a coupon code still in my Ravelry pattern store. It is Keep Warm, all lowercase letters. You get 25% off any and all patterns in there through the end of the month. I have been in contact with my test knitters, and one of them has finished the first sock and has sent me her notes on it, which I haven't read yet because I had a really busy weekend. 3 days in a row of working. Mostly I just slept when I wasn't working. And then another is finishing up toe decreases, last I heard. And the third is about to cast on, which is fine. So that pattern should be out before the end of the month, I think, because the woman who is casting on is usually pretty quick about her turnaround. So that's good. What else? Oh, I cast on my design mitts too, and I already have an offer for a test knitter, so I have at least one. I would like 2 more, but we'll see what we can do. So that should be up fairly soon. The design mitts are going to take a little bit longer because they're a little less straightforward than the socks. Not complicated per se, but just a little more. I need to personally test knit, and they are mirrored, so I need to knit both of them With the socks, I only needed to knit one to know it would work because it's not a mirrored pattern, which is strange for me because a lot of my patterns are mirrored. Anyway, there is a knit along going on right now. It is the Finisher Frog, and it has hashtag BPHFOF16. That will be coming to a close at the end of this month, so just over a week until that closes. Because what's the last day of the month? Wednesday, Thursday next week. So still time to get things finished or frogged. I saw people were frogging a lot of things, which is good. If you're not going to use that yarn for that project, you may as well reclaim the yarn and the needles for something else. But I've also seen a fair bit of finishing going on, so good job, guys. I have been finishing some things too, but of course not any works in progress from before the start of the knit along. Maybe one of them was, I can't remember. And then next month there is the Bunnyfish pattern along, which Allison has started the thread in the Ravelry group for. It is a knit along to knit my patterns. The knit along will run from December 1st through 31st. All WIP photos and all FO photos will have one chance at a prize. So if you're already working on one of my patterns, that's fine. That's great, actually. I think that's fabulous. Thank you so much. There can be one work in progress photo per week. So if you work on it that week at all, post a project or a work in progress photo, and one finished object photo per project. So if you bought several of my patterns and you wanted to just cast them all on, then you could, and each of those every week could get you an entry into the knit along. Projects have to be worked on during the knit along though in order to count. So if you started it last month but then you don't work on it at all during December, then it doesn't count. And there must be a project page. Allison will be checking. So that's pretty cool. And there are 3 prizes. There is a yarn prize, a pattern prize, and something to be determined. How cool is that? I'm super excited for the knit along. I will be knitting along also. Definitely the second design sock so that I can have a pair of them instead of just one, even though I only need one for photo purposes. So that will be going on. And you know, I love that cowl. Actually I love both of the cowls, Buffalo Crossing and Scaling the Stronghold. Definitely love those two. I have another cowl pattern too, but those are the 2 that I like a lot. And I don't know if the design mitts will be finished knit during that time. Probably, but maybe not, because I'm going to be doing a lot of holiday traveling this week, so we'll see how that goes. Finished objects, I have a bunch of them. The first one I don't have in person, but hopefully I will be getting a picture before I finish editing this. And it is a hat that I made for Mary Lee. If you watched mini-sode number 3 of Bunnyfish Wanders, you will see me working on it in the morning at the library, and then I took it to that party that I went to that night. I was working on the hat there because it was also going to be a craft night, but I don't know if anyone crafted after I went to sleep. So I finished coloring the peacock picture that I was showing in the mini-sode, and then I pulled out the black hat that I had been working on earlier, and I finished it while we were all sitting around. And nobody else crafted anything while I was awake, but I had to work early the next morning, so it was at Mary Lee's house, so I just stayed the night there. So I went to sleep. I mean, not actually to sleep. Then Mary Lee and I chatted for about ever, and then we went to sleep. So I don't know if anyone crafted after that point. But the hat is finished. It was knit on US size 11 8.0 millimeter needles in Hometown USA, which is a Lion brand thing, and it's the black colorway. I'm not sure what it is, but Hopefully I'll remember to put it in the show notes and maybe at the bottom of the screen if I'm feeling really industrious when I'm editing. I also finished the side cable mitts that I had started last week. I think later that day. I don't know. So here they are. There's the cable along the side. And these were also knit on US size 8 or US size 11 8.0 millimeter needles in the Spartan colorway of Lion Brand, Hometown USA. So there's the mitts, and they fit me pretty well. I mean, you can see there's a little ladder right here, which I'm not super excited about, but it's okay. But they fit me pretty well, and I have really big hands. I don't know if Mara's teacher has really big hands, but she is a really tall lady. So hopefully they'll fit her too. And I really, really like this yarn. That's really cool. I'm getting quite a collection of leftover little bits of it. I mean, it's not a ton of yardage, but I was thinking that maybe I would make a hat or a monster, and then Haley was like, you need to make a monster, and I will just send you yarn so you can make another hat. Because how cute would a scrappy hat be out of that? But I'm going to make a monster out of it instead, which I think will be perfect, because if you follow me on Instagram, you have seen pictures of my work boyfriends. I have 3 of them. I think that I've only photographed 2 of them, though. One of them is a golden retriever who's red, and one of them is a husky, and the other is a Bernese mountain dog. So, yeah. One of them I posted on Instagram yesterday. He loves my knitted stuff. Like, he always grabs onto it, but he doesn't try to rip it away. He just like grabs onto it and he's like, no, don't leave me. And then like gently lets go, because I wear fingerless mitts to work, and now that it's cold, and a cowl. And yesterday I was wearing a shawl, so I put it on him. And I kind of want to make him a Christmas present. Right? I'm going to make a Christmas present for a dog that is not my dog. My dogs don't play with my knitted stuff. Like, they don't touch it. Molly doesn't play with toys at all. Lenny kind of plays with toys, but not really. So I'm going to make my work boyfriend, who likes my knitted stuff, a little crazy monster. He has a stuffed turtle that he really super loves. So I know that he likes stuffed animals. So I'm going to make him one out of my leftover scrappy bits. It's going to be crazy. But aren't dogs supposed to be colorblind anyway? So does it really matter if it looks crazy? And plus, it's going to be a monster, probably. The other thing that I finished is something that I was almost finished with last week. It is the Bad Nut Shawl by Josh Ricks, and it is all washed and blocked. It is a shallow crescent. I did the smaller size because I was worried about running out of yarn, which I may or may not have done. I don't know. Probably. No, I definitely would have run out of yarn if I had made the large size. Can you hear her? So Mara's home today because this is so gross. She had lice yesterday at school. She got sent home. So since she got sent home, she couldn't go into school today. Super gross. But nobody else in the house had it, so, I mean, like, she got it from school. And this is like the 3rd or 4th time that her class has had lice. It's very irritating. Anyway, that was probably too much information, but whatever. She might be singing in the background over that way. So, Bad Nut Shawl by Josh Ricks. The yarn is Solar Flare Fibers in the BFL base in the Jet Lagged Zombie colorway. And it is finished, washed, blocked. I already said this. US size 7 needle, which I don't know the millimeters for that. Is that like a 4 point something? 4.5 maybe? I feel like an 8 is a 5.0 millimeter, so I'm going to say probably a 4.5, but I might be making that up. There are stockinette sections and garter stitch sections and short rows and eyelets, and it just plays really nicely with highly variegated yarns. There's not a ton of pooling or anything like that. It's just it all plays really nicely and sits very nicely like a little kerchief. Oh my gosh, my hair is so long. I have not all of my episodes, but I have a lot of episodes that I recorded on this computer, so they're all in the file when I go to upload onto YouTube. And my hair was so short when I started recording on this computer, and now it's so long for me. I usually grow out my hair and then cut it all off to donate it, and it's not quite to that point, but it's getting close. For works in progress, I don't really have much to show you. I'm working on the design mitts, so that's a thing, but I don't have the yarn over here. It's over there. So I'll show you that later. Design mitts are going on. I am halfway finished with a project for a Secret Santa at work, but the girls, not all of the girls, at least 2 of the girls at work watch my podcast, so I'm not going to show that on here until after we exchange Secret Santa at work. So the only other thing, I mean, I did finish 3 projects this week, so it's okay that I only have 1 work in progress to show you, right? It is what I've been working on while I've been talking to you, which is why I've been looking down occasionally. It is one of the 4 coordinating but not matching socks that I'm making for Haley. The toe is Tessa's Designer Yarns Sock and Baby in, I don't think it had a colorway. I think it's just gray. And I thought when I talked last week that it was just a yarn that someone had given me at a ZK. Can you hear my dogs snoring? They're both snoring, and my cat is snoring also. Everybody in the house has a little bit of a sinus issue going on right now because when I was in my mini-sode, I mentioned how it was like 65 degrees out. The next day it was barely above freezing, like maybe 35 degrees. So yeah, everybody in the house is having sinus issues, including myself. But right now the animals are sleeping, so you can hear it in them. It is what it is. I'm not going to apologize for it. I actually think it's kind of adorable. So yes, I made Cookie A's Nebula sock pattern out of this in 2013, 2014, something like that, a long time ago. And I thought it was in the box with the mini skeins because I had actually taken it to ZK something to make a barn raising square. I don't know if I did or not. I should probably look through my barn raising squares and see if I have one, so I can make sure to include it in at least a partial amount. Actually, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a barn raising square that has this as the very center and then a few rounds of each of the 4 sock yarns that I'm using and then finish it off in this purple. That's what it's going to be. This purple is a thing because the 4 socks that are going to be coordinating but not matching because they're all going to have different foot colors are going to have this gray toe and then a purple heel. I think I have enough purple and gray for all of that. I mean, it doesn't take very much yarn to make a heel or a toe in a sock because the toe or the heels on this are going to be, I'm going to do a heel turn and then a heel flap. The pattern that I'm using is based on the Rose City Rollers by Mara Catherine Brenner, but I am doing it toe up instead of cuff down because when I made them for myself, I took really good notes on how many rounds I did, and gusset stitches and things like that, so I could reverse engineer it to do it toe up if I wanted, which is what I'm doing for these socks. Just cause, not because I have any particular reason. Just, I mean, I could knit them cuff down. I'm just not doing it. I don't know why. I might knit 1 or 2 of them cuff down. Actually, I'm probably going to, I think I'm going to start another one right after I finish this, probably today, and I might start that one cuff down. Just for funsies. I don't know. I haven't decided. I'm making things up. I'm just talking to talk. This is knit on my 9-inch bamboo circulars. I got them from Joann's at some point, and someday I will have metal ones to see if I like those better. These bamboo ones are fine. I don't love knitting with bamboo, but I do it anyway. I'm knitting my Tuss Knit mitts on bamboo, and it's fine because those were the needles in the appropriate size that were available that I didn't have something else on. I am to the gusset. I'm almost through the gusset, actually. This round that I'm working on right now is the final increase round, so that I'm going to work one round straight, and then I'm going to attach the heel yarn. So I should probably talk about things that require me to use my hands instead of just knit, which I'm totally doing off screen. You just can't see it. So what else? This yarn, the yarn for the body, I got from Steve of Dramatic Knits and Leading Men Fiber Arts. I don't think it's his yarn because I don't think that they do self-striping. I could be wrong in that. It's been a while since I've checked out their shop, and I am woefully behind on podcasts, probably a month behind. So I don't know for sure what I'm talking about there. But he did give me a bag full of yarn because at one point he decided he wasn't going to work on a sock yarn blanket anymore because I believe one of his dogs got to the sock yarn blanket, and like the one that he had started, and like ripped a hole in one or something, and he took it as a sign from the knitting gods that maybe he shouldn't work on it. But then he picked up other ones, a different type of sock yarn blanket. But I still have his sock yarn, so I'm going to use it. And then, yeah, like I said, I'm going to use it in a barn raising square, and I'm going to use it as a mitered square, and then I'm going to use it to make hexapuffs because it's obvious boy colors. Not that I care about whether or not it's boy colors, but I don't know what Gabriel's going to grow up to think, and like right now he doesn't care, but in, you know, a decade, when I finally finish the Beekeeper's quilt, he might care about boy versus girl colors. I don't know. I hope he doesn't, but he might. So I'm trying to lean more toward boy colors than girl colors. I got a super awesome box in the mail. So it's huge. It's one of these priority mails, and it's from Christina, who always sends me such great stuff because she's fantastic. And here's the card, which is very cute and very sweet. She sent me so much stuff. So much beautiful stuff. So this is some alpaca that she got from someone she knows, right? Let me read that again. I got this a few days ago, and I want to make sure that I'm recalling correctly. The alpaca was given to her, yes, by someone she knows, and it's made, the alpaca yarn was made from his alpaca. So this is, there are 3 skeins in here, I want to say. So 3 skeins in here, and they're 200 yards each. 3 skeins in there, and then 2 skeins of the light alpaca in here, and 1 skein of this darker alpaca yarn. Am I totally crazy? Because I kind of really want to knit a alpaca sweater, possibly steeked with a colorwork yoke. If I'm doing a colorwork yoke, it would definitely be a steeked alpaca sweater. That's nuts, right? That's nuts. I shouldn't even be entertaining the idea. But I mean, okay, so I have this lovely, there's this lovely brown alpaca, this light brown, and then there's the darker brown, and those Totoro mitts that I haven't worked on in forever, there's going to be left over of the gray and the blue, and those would look so pretty with these colors. And if that wasn't enough yarn, I could find out about, going to that mill by my dad's place. Would it be totally nuts to make this sweater? I mean, the obvious answer is yes, because I wouldn't be able to wash it in a washing machine, which is not a deal breaker. I don't wash my other sweaters in a washing machine. I may have washed the one that I bought out of the Knit Picks yarn in the washing machine once or twice, but I definitely don't wash the 716 sweater in the washing machine. I hand wash that. But yeah, so it would be another sweater I would have to hand wash, which isn't a big deal. But that would be kind of nuts, right? I really want to make it though. It's all Vicky of Heartland Knit's fault, because she makes beautiful sweaters from kits that have color work and they're gorgeous. And other people have been making color work sweaters. I don't want to do an all over color work thing because I don't think for my body type that I would like it. But I do think that a sweater with some color work, maybe at the sleeves, would be cute. I don't know. That's crazy though. It would definitely be a cardigan, because I don't think that I would love a pullover as much as a cardigan. I wear my Reese sweater that Josh made and then gifted me, but I don't wear it as much as I wear cardigans. But maybe I would wear it as a pullover. I don't know. Why am I even going into this on this podcast? Other than, let me know what you think about me possibly making a colorwork sweater out of this alpaca. It would not be very soon, because I have another sweater that I want to make for myself that that's in my mental queue, and I feel like I should probably go by the order of things in my mental queue, which I do, unless something else comes up that needs to be done immediately, so things have to hop around. But usually I go in the order, and that would give me time to really think about making myself a colorwork sweater. But yeah, let me know what you think about that idea. Okay, so also there is this awesome Christmas colored yarn, which I don't know for sure what that is. I don't recall reading about it, like if it's a certain thing in her notes, but it's gorgeous, gorgeous colors, and I kind of want some Christmas socks. I don't have any, and I would wear them all year round because it's me, and I don't care if I'm wearing Christmas socks in the middle of May. They're the types of Christmas colors. Oh, I haven't actually opened the bag before. Ah, yes! Okay, so everybody has been knitting with West Yorkshire Spinners yarn, and this is the Hollyberry colorway, and it's 65.6 grams, so she's used it for something, which is fine. I can totally get a pair of socks for myself, shorter socks, but socks nonetheless, out of 65 grams of yarn. I thought I recognized this color. So yeah, that's going to be a thing, probably with solid color toes, maybe heels and cuffs, because like everybody else, I'm kind of obsessed with that idea now. But I love these types of Christmas colors, the darker, richer colors versus like super bright red and super bright green. So I'm super excited about that, and West Yorkshire Spinners, which I think I've mentioned on the podcast before that I wanted to try but hadn't yet tried. So yay! That's awesome. There is also some tea in here. So this is Rose Hips and Hibiscus Soothing Tea, which is good because I have been drinking a lot of hot beverages lately. Tea, coffee, spiced cider, hot chocolate. A lot because of the weather change and because I need to drink a lot of beverages anyway. This little package right here is 2 crochet hooks for picking up drop stitches, salted caramel tea. Yay! And then, as if that wasn't, there's a couple more teas down here too. Do you guys want to see what they are? There you go. So, as if that wasn't enough, because, I mean, very generous, very excited to get a surprise package in the mail She also sent me 2 skeins of Lion Brand Hometown USA, which I'm obsessed with right now because it's such a good yarn for making gifts for people who might not know how to take care of hand knits or crochets, as the case may be. The I'm making mitts for my kids' teachers out of it. I've made hats for myself, hats for Mary Lee. I really, really like it. It comes in a really wide range of colors. It's machine washable, and I don't know what these washing machine things mean, but I feel like you could probably put it in the dryer. Is this a dryer symbol for something? I don't know. I'm super fail at those symbols because, yeah. Let's see. Yes, machine washable and dryable. It tells me right there on the label. So that's really good for non-knitters. I have washed one of the hats that I made because one of my work boyfriends, he's a Bernese Mountain Dog, he jumped up on the wall that divides the play area from where the dogs like sleep and stuff, like the rooms, the dogs' rooms. That's where we put them to eat their lunches, and also if they're boarding, that's where they sleep overnight. So there's a wall, and when I come in from being outside, especially like yesterday, it was like 30 degrees outside, 65 degrees inside. So we walk in and we immediately take off all of our outerwear because otherwise we'll be too hot. A couple weeks ago, I put my hat on the wall and Moose grabbed it off of the wall and tried to get me to play a game of catch with him. Well, not me, actually. It was another girl at work. She looked over and she saw it and tried to get it back from him. So he likes to play with my knitted stuff. When he can get a hold of it, he just likes to play, but only with people, not so much with dogs. So I put that in the wash when I got home, and it came out a little fuzzy, but not like, I mean, it wasn't as crisp as this. Let me see if I can find it. So this is what the hat looks like after having gone through the washing machine, not the dryer because I laid it flat to dry. And it's been worn several times since I washed it, but it's not like it's got a little bit more fuzz coming off of it. You can see on the sides of it, like where my cheek is, that there's a little more fuzz coming off of it than this freshly knit piece, but it's not really that fuzzy. And yeah, so that's the hat gone through the wash. So it held up really well to that. I don't know about drying. I probably won't throw my hat in the dryer ever, unless by accident. The Hometown USA that she sent me is in colorway Aspen Tweed, which is super pretty, and in Charlotte Blue, which is also super pretty. The Charlotte Blue, it looks like she's used a little because it's 140 grams instead of 142 grams. But that's fine because I always have a little bit left over. I don't think I talked about my modular knitting. Did I? I don't know. Let's talk about that really quick. I knit squares number 66 and 67. So this is Solar Flare Fibers in the Jet Lagged Zombie colorway, which blends right in almost. Okay, not quite because it's knit at a crazy different gauge. My mitered square blanket, I haven't talked about needle sizes in a long time. So I'm knitting my hexapuffs on US size 3 needles, which is 3.25 millimeter needles. I am knitting my barn raising squares on US 2, which is 2.75 millimeter needles, and I am knitting this mitered square blanket on US 1, 2.25 millimeter needles. I knit the other mitered square blanket that I finished a while ago, a year, 2 years ago. I knit that on US 2 needles, so this is denser. So this is one square, and then over here is a square of Christina yarn, which is it's kind of a robin's egg blue, but that's showing up much brighter on screen than it is in person. Everything else is showing up pretty true to color, but that's showing up super bright. I'm not sure why. So I finished that quadrant, so officially one half of it is finished. And then I've started on the second and third quadrants, or not second and third and fourth quadrants of the center panel of this Afghani thingy that I'm making for myself. I haven't knit any other modular project pieces this week. Somewhere in this living room are my size 3 needles. I don't know where, but I will find them today because I think that would be a really good project to take with me to Kentucky. And I'll probably take another Haley sock and maybe the yarns for the kids' teachers' Christmas presents. Definitely the design mitts. And maybe the Bellatrix socks too. Like on the one hand, if I have a lot of knitting time, that's not going to be enough knitting to get me through 5 days. But if I don't have a lot of knitting time, then I'm just packing overkill. I don't know. I haven't decided. You'll see next week what I work on though, and or finish. What else? Reading, the lastest thing that I have for you. I am reading Prudence by Gail Carriger. I am only 120 pages in. I started it last week. I get it now why it's called the custard protocol. She has a dirigible and it is called the spotted custard. This is Prudence, who is the daughter of Lord and Lady Macon, who are the main characters, basically, of the Parasol Protractorate. And she's traveling with Primrose, who is Ivy and her husband, the actor, their daughter. This is totally spoilers if you haven't read The Parasol Protractorate, sorry, but that's been out for a really long time. I read those books back when I was nursing Mara, so at least one of those books. So it's been a long time since it's been out. I don't think that that's a really, I don't think those spoilers are really spoilers though, because it's pretty obvious from the beginning that those people are going to end up together. But yeah, it's good so far. I like it. There's steampunkery and traveling, and it's a lot of fun to read. And there's supernatural things going on. Not so much supernatural though as the other books. It hasn't been as prevalent a thing. It was right at the beginning, but the last several, it hasn't been very much. Not as much as the Parasol Protractorate or the one about finishing school. I also finished Changes by Jim Butcher. I was listening to it in my vehicle and finished that, picked up the Iliad, which I am on the first CD, like track 5 or 6, so I'm not very far in it. I'm to the point where Agamemnon has the false dream. What else? There's one more. Oh yes, Drums of Autumn by Diana Gabaldon. I am around track 40 or so, something like that. I've been listening to it mostly at work while it's been on a one-on-one situation or while I've been cleaning at work. So not a ton of listening, but enough. That is all I have for you this week. I hope you made something fantastic with your sticks and string, and I will see you next week. Bye!